same weekend with other programs, along with East Lincoln again, Crest, Shelby, Burns, Kings Mountain, Lincoln, West Lincoln. There's a lot of schools around here, South Point, that have an eye on the prize come December.
They is, and if you go to Cleveland County never starts a year without them guys thinking of conference championships and state championships.
Well, mentioning Cleveland County, Steve, when you look at Cleveland County football, there's been a deep run almost every year for the last 20 years by one of the programs, Shelby, Burns, Crest, even Kings Mountain back in 98 made it all the way to the championship game. So just Cleveland County alone, you can expect to go to the third, fourth round minimum. And then you throw in Gaston County, the occasional Lincoln, who's been there several times. South Point is a perennial contender. Ashbrook's made the title game, won a title back a few years ago. And, yeah, there's always going to be a chance for, in this three-county area, Lincoln, Gaston, Cleveland, you've got a chance to be in a championship game, I would say, every year.
You do. And like I said, when you start to play this year, it's been 8 months that these guys have finished. East Lincoln's come away with a state championship, wearing their rings now probably. And as they sit back, and you've went through the spring training of lifting weights, and you know how that old show goes on one of the television shows, One More Time. Once they pump that iron, they want to give it one more because a new season's coming up. All the seniors are gone. It's new guys hitting the block now. And, as when they started practice, they've went through all the sweat, everything they could. And now tonight is when they start a chance to go for a state championship maybe down the road.
Well, you mentioned all the hard work they do. The old saying is championships are won in the off season.
Yes.
That's when the weightlifting goes on, when the fundamental drills are going on. That's what you find out what you're made of. And if you are more than just a one-hit wonder, and we'll find out if East Lincoln is a one-hit wonder or do they continue progressing and being dominant this year, are they building a program at East Lincoln? So we'll find out as the next few years go along, much like Shelby, Crest, South Point, these guys year in and year out are contenders for state titles, and those are programs. East Lincoln, now that they've reached the pinnacle, do they continue on?
Well, as East Lincoln comes around and people say, well, new conference, new foes, are they really focused? Well, I'm going to be honest with you. East Lincoln, after you win one, Mike Bias has went back to the drawing boards. He has lost Garrett Young. He's lost Earnhardt out at wide receiver, but he has come back now, and Chaz Surratt will go to his quarterback spot, which was a kid who did the job when Garrett Young was hurt last year. And this is a guy who will pass, a great passer, but he also can tuck and run. And when he tucks and run, get your defense ready because you have no clue of where he's going, and he's pretty quick. And as far as on defense, you got Dallas Lowen back, one of the best middle linebackers to me that's come back, defensive player of the year in the state championship game last year has come back for him. So get your hands ready because East Lincoln is going to be very hard to contend with this year. But in their new conference, hey, there's foes there. There's Newton Conover, another legitimate foe there. Lincoln, another foe. Maiden. Any of these schools can beat them at any night.
It's a great conference. A lot of tradition in that conference. Newton Conover, Lincoln, Maiden, Bandy's. These are perennial powers from years ago that can at any time be a championship contender. And, of course, East Lincoln, I don't know how the big A, 2A, small A falls each year, and you never really know till they do the enrollment numbers. But then there's always Shelby over there on the edge of 2A also waiting to get back to prominence. And from what I'm hearing from folks over that way, they're feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, Coach Ware. It's took him a couple years. Each year he started off slow. But when it's got to the end, his team has been rolling. And, a couple years ago, they almost was in the state championship. Like if they could have beat Salisbury, they would have been there, So
well, Shelby's always that team. They always play up. They always play a tougher schedule. Not always, sometimes they win those tougher schedule games. But then this year they're going to have a little easier schedule in the preseason than they've had in the past. They get their rivals towards the end of the year now. We're going to take a short break here and be right back on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price with names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
And we're back on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Sam Davis along with Terry Reinhardt here bringing you all the information you need to know about the upcoming games this evening. I noticed on the Weather Channel just a moment ago, it looks like some rain has passed through the area, so that's going to settle what little bit of dust we might have and should soften the fields up for the night. And hopefully the rain stays away the rest of the evening because I'm looking forward to getting out to the ball field tonight.
Exactly on the same thing with me, Sam.
All right, let's talk about tonight's game schedules in the area. The first game, and the one that I think is the big game possibly in the state right now, is the South Point and Crest game. South Point ranked anywhere from 3 or 4 in some polls. Crest ranked anywhere from 4 to 10 in other polls. So you've got two top 10 3A teams butting heads in the first game of the year.
Well, as far as on my end, I've got we did our top 10.
Absolutely.
Exactly, we did, and that's my number 1 against number 2. And that's what I've got down. South Point I've got as number 1, Crest at number 2. These two squads have played each other at the end of the year in their conference for the last 4 years, but now it's moved to the start of the season. And I know a few weeks ago a couple weeks ago when South Point played Bandy's in a scrimmage down there, South Point looked like they were on a roll then, going 80 yards for touchdowns in a scrimmage game. And, for me, Crest, this is the chance to me. Game 1, you're playing at your place. You have lost the last 7 against South Point. And in the overall record, as South Point leads it 20-10, it's time to make a stand and step up and take this back.
Well, I've been a fan of the Crest program for many years, graduated from Crest High School, so I've followed this series since it began 12 years ago. They played a four-year contract leading up to being in the same conference, and during that 4-year contract, Crest won 3 out of 4 or 2 out of 4 early season matchups. Mm-hmm. Then when they went into the same conference, those games were moved to the last game of the series, and South Point won 7 out of the last 8. And so what that tells you is South Point, like a well-oiled machine, if you're going to get them, you better get them early before they get their timing down, and this is the opportunity Crest has now. Now, on the negative side, South Point has experience coming back with Tyler Bray, one of the top running backs in the area, the quarterback, Jaquan Brooks, I believe.
Yes.
Great kid, can throw the ball now. We've seen him throwing the ball. So the new offensive line at South Point, this is where Crest will have to try to take a shot and get to the running back and the quarterback, because once those guys start making their moves and their handoffs, you don't have a clue who has the ball. So this will be Crest's best opportunity to beat South Point, getting them early in the season. And like you, my consensus number 1 is South Point in this area.
Well, it is for me, and when I sit back, I'm just like you. You got Tyler Bray coming back, who rushed for over 2,500 yards, had 36 touchdowns last year, a hard man to stop on his own. But when you coming out of that red bone, people ask me, they said, well, what does it look like? And I said, well, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not a hurricane. It's a tornado, because when they open a hole, it's big, and these guys go through it, and they're on their way for a touchdown.
And that's the interesting thing about the South Point offense is they don't try to beat you 11 on 11. They try to beat you 3 on 3. They pick a little spot where the running back's going to go, and those two linemen, their job is to just stun the defensive lineman long enough to allow Bray to sneak through there. And it's just like a work of art watching them do that well, because you can have D1, and I've seen it, D1 defensive linemen going up against these little 220-pound offensive linemen at South Point. But if they block properly, there's not a lot those big guys can do, because, man, after a while you get tired of these guys diving at your knees, and that's all Bray needs is that half a step, and he's into the backfield, and he's got breakaway speed.
You are right, and their middle linebackers have got to stay with their blocks, have got to stay with the guy that they're glued to, because they've got to stop him before he gets through. South Point, to me, a 3-time state champion. Crest, a 4-time state champion. What more would you want for game one?
That is the highlight game, my game of the week. All right, also on the agenda tonight, we've got Ashbrook at Burns. Now, this is going to be another great game. This could be a high-flying game. Ashbrook moving the JV quarterback up. We've seen him play at the JV level. Kid can throw the ball. Taking an all-conference quarterback, moving him to wide receiver. Now, instead of having one weapon, you've got two.
For Ashbrook, to me, what a tough test. You're on the road. You're going to Burns. Burns was 10-4 last year. Coach Beams got them running well. Coach Ponderover running the defense and all. I think this is a tough task for Ashbrook. I know Coach Hill's got them ready, but this is going to be very hard for them to win.
Burns, I spoke with Coach Beam today just for a moment, and he feels real good about tonight's game. He's excited about it, worried also, and we're getting signals from Steve Roberts, our producer. I guess he's telling us all is good. Okay, thank you, Steve. And do we need a break, Steve? Is that what he's saying?
That's
okay.
it.
Well, okay. Well, we're
Pay
going to
some
take
bills.
folks. We are working out the details here on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show as we go, and so I've got to learn to look over to the window once in a while just to see what Steve's up to. We're going to give him some marbles and let him throw them at us.
I'll tell you what, he could cut us off at any time.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. We will be right back.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price with names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986. The Baubles clearance sale is underway at the Bargain Station Outlet in Shelby. Now for a limited time, you can get baubles for only $5, and bauble insets are just $3. And all baubles are FDA approved. And for that last quick summer getaway, remember the Bargain Station Outlet in Shelby for luggage, bags, and outdoor equipment. The Bargain Station Outlet, located at 4400 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right next to Honda Motorcycles. Open Tuesday through Friday, 9:30 to 6, Saturdays, 9 a.m. till 2 p.m.
Hi, this is Woody Durham for Mark Dedman's Carolina Trophies in Shelby. Through the years, I've seen a lot of trophies and plaques, and none appear nicer than those which come from Mark Dedman's Carolina Trophies. Their guarantee is not just a guarantee, but a promise for courteous service, the absolute lowest price, quality products, on-time delivery, and most of all, your satisfaction. Awards for all occasions, plus rubber stamps and engraving. That's Mark Dedman's Carolina Trophies in Shelby.
Come to Kibo's this summer for some refreshing ice cream. Kibo's has it packaged or hand-dipped in a cup or cone. There's also delicious Hunt Brothers Pizza and hot wings. Of course, you'll find Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and Sundrop soft drinks, candy, cakes, milk, bread, charcoal, soap, tobacco products, oil, and don't forget to fill that vehicle up with gas. Kibo's, Highway 226 North at Zion Church Road in Shelby.
Packing that lunch for school? Then head to the Ora Supermarket and Broad River Hams for some great back-to-school lunch packing good deals. Broad River Country Ham, $5.99 a pack. Hormel lunch meat, $3.99 a pound. All meat bologna, $3.99 a pound. Boiled ham, $4.99 a pound. And sliced American cheese, $5.99 a pound. And don't forget the Pick 5. Pick 5 bags of frozen food for only $19.99. Ora Supermarket and Broad River Hams, 1026 East Marion Street in Shelby. They're the steak place.
We're back at the studios in Cherryville, North Carolina, as we bring you the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Sam Davis along with Terry Reinhart. We hope you're joining us. Terry, Calvin Hastings and Kevin Hastings are putting together quite a Trump-like little empire here as they are taking an endeavor to bring the people 8, 10, 11 games per night.
I'm going to tell you what, I'm giving them all the credit in the world. When you speak of Kevin's working in behind the scenes, even with us tonight, to make this thing the right way, along with Mr. Roberts. But Calvin, he's done a great job too. It takes everybody and everybody together. Are we going to have a few mistakes? Yes, we are, but we're going to work on this and get it where it does not mess up too many times.
Well, having been a high school football fan for 40 years now, I'm 57, I guess I'd be about 45 years, I've seen the media come and go in this area, and we have had in this area really, really good high school football coverage with the local radios, and now with the advent of the internet and streaming, we're seeing it get better and better. So let's go over the ktcbroadcasting.com schedule tonight. You can watch online, download the Ustream app, and go to ktcbroadcasting.com, and you can watch these games live.
You
and
sure can.
With announcers, the whole works.
Pull out your smartphone, pull out your tablet, pull us right up.
Yes. Watch on ktcbroadcasting.com, North Gaston at Bessemer City. You can also watch the South Point Red Raiders as they take on the Crest Chargers tonight over at Crest. That'll have Tim Foster, Andy Foster, and Rob Roop,
yes.
I believe, will be bringing that action. Ashbrook Green Wave will be playing the Burns Bulldogs. I believe Calvin Hastings and Dan Greer will bring you that action. Polk County and the Shelby High Golden Lions, and not Chris. Who are the announcers for that? Pasco and
Dan Greer?
No, Dan's doing the Burns game.
Burns?
Okay, we'll get the lineup of the announcers in time. But the Polk County Shelby High Golden Lions at Polk County, and also your state champion East Lincoln Mustangs will be taking on the East Gaston Warriors. So you can follow those live on ktcbroadcasting.com. Video and audio, and now audio games only will be carrying on WCSL 1590 AM. Cherryville Ironman will be traveling to Bunker Hill for a 7:30 start, and also on WLON 1050 AM you can listen to the North Lincoln at Lincolnton game.
David Keever and Rick Mitchell.
So that's 7-8 games. Gosh, I can't. There's so many I've lost count. And it's just, folks, you cannot believe how cool this is, because you can go to Charlotte, North Carolina, that big city, and tonight at 9 o'clock, try to find a high school football game on radio. You will not find it. And if you do, it'll be a signal bleeding over from Gaston County or Cleveland County. But that's how much we love our high school football around here. But be sure to check out some of these games and the announcers, and be sure to visit the sponsors that help bring you these games. So those rainy nights that you just can't bring yourself to get out to the ball field, Grandma, your aunt lives in Cleveland, Ohio, that wants to keep up with her nephew Johnny, tell her this is how they can do it. Go to ktcbroadcasting.com, download the Ustream app, and you can do it.
Sure can. Back to our games for tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Going back to Hunter Huss visits Kings Mountain. Kings Mountain the last 4 years have come away with their #1 victory of the year. Can they do it again tonight as Hunter Huss comes to town? The only thing that Kings Mountain's worried about tonight is Keon Moore. This was a guy last year who rushed 6 times, only 9 yards. Not big deal, but he had 4 touchdowns. He had a touchdown of 65 yards, 78 yards, returned a kickoff 82 yards, and another interception 104 yards to beat them last year.
This is big play Kerryon Moore.
Yes.
This is a kid that at any time he can score from anywhere on the field. Kings Mountain in a youth movement. Kings Mountain comes in with a junior quarterback that quarterbacked their successful JV team last year, Bell, and from what I understand from the Jamboree, had a couple of freshmen showed out, a freshman running back and a freshman receiver that had very good games. They returned the leading pass receiver from last year, comes back to the team. So Kings Mountain, although young, is excited. Coach Lloyd, Coach Moorhead, those guys over there are real excited about their team this year, and they know there's going to have some bumps in the road with the youth, but they feel like that by the end of the year they should be have a chance to make the playoffs and make some noise.
The next game on our schedule, Shelby goes to Polk County. These teams have only played once. It was last year in the playoffs, and Shelby pretty much beat them pretty handily. You know, this time they make the trip up there. Can they do it again?
Polk County has been one of those programs that has had some really good teams, and fortunately for Shelby, I guess, they did not butt heads during those years where Polk was real strong,
Yes.
and that's been recently. This year, Shelby comes in with the third year, I believe, of this spread offense that Coach Lance Ware's put in. The fans have struggled with it the last 2 years because the school itself has struggled getting the spread working as opposed to the old wing tee they used to run. Lance Ware believes in this offense and believes they have the athletes, and now we're beginning to see the receivers that are being trained under the JV under the system. They've got a quarterback in place. They looked really, really good in the Jamboree, and I think Shelby's on the verge of getting back to old Shelby ways.
And to me, that's what I think you got to do. I remember when Taylor was there, people complained. Then here come Norman, people complained. Well, they won state championships. They got people over that pretty quick. And, Where he struggled at the start, just like we said before, and come on at the end, where you win one state championship, buddy, and they're all going to be happy.
Well, and it's always amazing that the early part of the season, the Shelby fans will whine about we need to run the ball, we need to run the ball, we need to run the ball. And then when it's the third round of the state playoffs and they're throwing the ball, you don't hear those guys too much. But the early games, they're losing to A.L. Brown or Crest, larger schools with maybe a little more talent. They're not used to being on the lower end of the totem pole over the years. Shelby High for years and years was the top dog in the state or one of the top 10 dogs. Now that they're a smaller school, they can really, really compete at the 2A level. They'll struggle against larger schools sometimes, but I think with this new spread and the talent that Coach Ware has, we're going to start seeing them really compete against the upper-level schools and probably have a lot more success.
Well, one thing I want to ask him is when Norman, we had him here one day broadcasting with him, and the first thing I asked him, I said, Coach, you lose to Crest, you lose to Burns, you lose to Kings Mountain. I said at that time, do you sit back and then you go on to win a state championship? Which one do you want? He could not answer that because Cleveland County wants you to defeat them other teams in their county.
Win a state title or beat your crosstown rival. I'll take the state title
every year.
But I hate to have to listen to those crosstown rivals for a whole year.
Yes.
That I'll tell you. And I believe we're going to take another short break. And this is the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show, and we're going to come back and finish out tonight's area games when we get back, and we got some other things to talk about. So one thing we do want to mention that in the second 30-minute segment, we're going to take some calls. If you get a chance to give us a call, have a comment about your program, disagree with something we've said, 704-435-2844 and
704-735-8071 or 704-482-1390.
Yabba dabba do. This is the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show.
Since
We'll be right back.
1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price with names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986. Round them up at the Roundup store in Shelby. Check out this month's specials, like bathroom sinks for just $10, cross ties just $8 each, and 3/4-inch number 2 plywood just $10 a sheet. The Roundup store in Shelby has wood storage buildings built to last, plus chicken coops too. You'll find all wood kitchen cabinets, countertops, roofing shingles, dog houses, gazebos, doors, floor coverings, and more. The Roundup store, 1610 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Visit the new website at roundupshelby.com.
Yes, Cleveland County, you do have a train dealer. From Kings Mountain to Polkville, from Lawndale to Bellwood, from Falston to Earl, Roland Black Heating and Air will be there for you. They're only a phone call away at 704-865-1375. In minutes, a comfort specialist will be at your door for your heating or cooling needs. Yes, it's hard to stop a train. Again, call Roland Black Heating and Cooling at 704-865-1375. Your hometown train dealer for over 36 years.
You could win a new car. That's right, you could win a new car when you buy a ticket to the 89th Annual Cleveland County Fair, September 26th through October 6th. The car giveaway is co-sponsored by Carter Chevrolet, Peter Ford Lincoln Roush, Marburger Motors, and Rogers Automotive Group. Winner must be 18 years of age and will be responsible for tax, tag, and fees. The drawing will be held Sunday night, October 6th, and you must be present to win. The 89th Annual Cleveland County Fair, September 26th through October 6th. Cleveland County's complete fireplace and outdoor living headquarters is Future Energy Company, 130 West Graham Street in Uptown Shelby. They are the home of the Big Green Egg, America's favorite grill. Plus, you'll find gas logs, gas fireplaces, wood stoves, outdoor kitchens, and gas grills. And their services include dryer vent cleaning, gas line installation, and they are certified chimney sweeps. Visit the website at futureenergyco.com. Future Energy Company, 130 West Graham Street, Uptown Shelby. They have the fire you desire, from outdoor eating to indoor heating.
Blanton Cars is slashing down payments. We offer down payments as low as $500. We are the most experienced buy here, pay here dealer in Cleveland County. We have cars as new as 2010 models that we will finance in-house. We don't look at your past credit. Your job is your credit here. We have payment plans to fit your budget. Stop by today and let us put you in the car you deserve. Blanton Cars has 2 locations to serve you in Shelby. East Dixon Boulevard, across from Super 8 Motel, and West Dixon Boulevard, next to Meineke Mufflers.
WHS in Shelby, 1590 AM WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia, 1050 AM WLON Lincoln, or online at realcountry1390.com. Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price, with names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
And welcome back to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. I am Sam Davis, along with Terry Reinhart, bringing you all the information you need to know about tonight's high school football games in the area. Lincoln County, Cleveland County, Rutherford County, Gaston County, and we even dabble up in the other outer counties.
We do. We cover, by your thing that you got in from, we're going to do it with 5. The Southern Piedmont 1A Conference with Cherryville, Thomas Jefferson, Bessemer City, Pine Lake Prep, Highland Tech, Community School of Davison. Southern District 7 2A, East Lincoln, Newton Conover, Lincoln and Maiden, Bandies, Bunker Hill, West Caldwell. In the Big South 2A 3S, South Point, Ashbrook, Forest View, North Gaston, Lake Norman Charter, Hunter Huss, and East Gaston. The South Mountain Athletic 2A 3A, going to be a battle this year. Crest, Burns, Shelby, Kings Mountain, East Rutherford, Chase, East Burke, RS Central and Drone, and the North Piedmont 3A 4A, Statesville, Mooresville, South Iredell, Lake Norman, Alexander Central, North Lincoln, North Iredell, and West Iredell.
That's a lot of high schools there, Lucy.
It is.
And we're going to try to get you a little bit of information about everybody. Our main focus, I think, is understood that we'll focus on Cleveland County, Gaston County, Lincoln County, some Rutherford, and we're just going to get you what we can. And in the time allotted, we'll be taking a station break here in just a minute. But let's quickly go over the rest of tonight's area's games. And as you can tell, there's a lot of them. Cherryville, as we mentioned earlier, is at Bunker Hill. East Lincoln opens up the defense of their state championship against East Gaston. And, Terry, you mentioned to me earlier that a couple times in the last 4 or 5 years, East Lincoln's came in highly rated, and East Gaston has handed them their hat.
They have. In 2009 and 2011, there were games between these two schools that East Lincoln would jump out 21-0, 28-0, and East Gaston would come back and defeated them both of them years. And, you say, okay, East Lincoln's going down there. Everybody's saying, well, East Lincoln's going to win. Don't count that, because this is every other year, 2009, 2011. This is 2013.
And every school is undefeated coming into tonight. So every school has high hopes, high expectations, and they all have the same thing on their mind, that if this kid performs the way he should perform, we've got a chance to win. And that's all a coach can ask for, is a chance to win, and every single school here thinks they can win tonight.
Oh, yeah, and as people sit back, people say, well, look at him. He's got on an Independence hat, and people that's on the road saying, oh, man, what's he got on an Independence hat for? They lead North Carolina 109 straight victories. Every team starts tonight looking for that first win.
Right.
Northern Guilford starts tonight with 29 of them already under their belt as undefeated. They have the longest winning streak in North Carolina.
Well, the next game on our list is one I'm a little bit interested in is Nation Ford, South Carolina, comes over to Forest View. Now, Logan, the quarterback there, from what I understand in the preseason 7-on-7s, this kid lit it up everywhere he went. So if Forest View's got any kind of defense, then they could be a conference title contender this year.
They could. Forest View, to me, the last few years has been – some people would say they're great, and until they get to the playoffs, this is a team that is 1-12 in the playoffs. They cannot get over the hump there. But every year during the regular season, they are pretty stout. I got to see them last year playing Lincoln, and they just dethroned Lincoln.
Well, Forest View is doing right now what it takes to beat South Point. The teams that have beaten South Point in the last 3 years in the playoffs have not been run-it-down-your-throat type teams.
Yeah.
They've been teams that have thrown the ball with success, Irwin, Statesville. And if Forest View can come up with a little bit of defense to slow Bray down, they'll have a chance to maybe win that game. North Gaston travels over to Bessemer City. Drawn and West Lincoln play.
Drawn, first meeting ever between these two squads. West Lincoln had to pick up some new people when they moved into this new conference, and Drawn was one of the people who elected for, I'm thinking, I know it's 2 years, it might be 4-year term of playing them every year. That is a good thing. But for West Lincoln, they're coming off a 5-7 record last year. Coach Sainset's back. He's got a lot of talent in a lot of spots. But from last year's group to this year's group in a new conference, will it mean more victories? Only time will tell.
And we're going to take, we were going to take a station break, but we're not going to do that right now since the phone just rang. Okay, and continuing on with the schedule, Bandy's at St. Stephen's. Chase travels to Newton Conover, and I don't know if you know this, but the head coach at Newton Conover, a former Crest offensive coordinator. So Brent Russell's the coach over at Newton Conover. Coach Bailey at Chase threw the gauntlet down a few weeks ago in the paper and said he's ready to start contending for a state title.
He did, and he's also picked up a former Gene Serrance from West Lincoln has made the move over there and teaching linebackers over there at Newton Conover. But a lot of people say, well, this is Chase. Everybody expects Newton Conover to win. Well, folks, I want to tell you, the last 3 meetings between this group, Chase versus Newton Conover, Chase has won all 3.
Well, Chase has been on the rise the last couple of years, had some kids over there. Carlos Watkins, who's now playing college ball, big boy, really good football player. They've got other talent to go along now that he's moved on, but you don't build a kingdom in a day. It takes several years to build this program, and Coach Bailey at Chase, that's what he came out in the paper and said, we're going to build a program, we're going to start contending more than just for the Rutherford County Championship. So Chase Newton at Newton Conover could be a good game. East Burke at Freedom.
This is Fat Friday. This is number 40.
Already Fat Friday.
Yes, it is. They usually play this towards the end of the year. It's a move to the front. For Freedom won last year 42-14. Blair Harden, who left Porter Ridge to come over there and take over for Freedom, takes over a program that has had 3 straight 10-win seasons. So he's got a program. He's got good guys in behind him. Can he continue what it is? Freedom leads the all-time series 21-18.
Well, and he's got a pedigree, being one of the Harden boys.
Yes.
So that could be a very interesting game. Another interesting game, Irwin, with all their offense, comes in to East Rutherford. So we'll get a little feel of how good East Rutherford might be this year against Irwin. Highland Tech travels to Victory Christian. McDowell at RS Central.
McDowell's a group that a few years ago had the longest losing streak in North Carolina. The last 2 years, they've started to win. Last year, they made it to the playoffs, got beat in the first or second round. But this is a group that has turned the corner into 4A and started making moves to the top.
All right, here's a game I know absolutely nothing about. North Meck at Lake Norman. Now, my confusion is that I know Lake Norman last year won some games, but am I thinking of Lake Norman Charter?
That's Lake Norman Charter.
Okay.
That won some games that went into the playoffs. This is just regular Lake Norman down here. The high school, pretty continuous every year. They're in a group that finishes 5-6, 6-5, pretty much every year.
Okay, there's a lot of new schools popped up in within a 50-mile radius of where we're sitting in the last 10 years. So it's been difficult to keep up with them. Statesville at Hickory. You've got a very solid Statesville program that beat South Point last year, knocked them out of the playoffs. Hickory's very excited. They were at a jamboree a few weeks ago and gave West Rowan fit. So this could be a nice little show in here, a nice little preseason type game here.
This is game number 51 in the series. Hickory leads the all-time series 26-24. Statesville won last year, though, 37-0.
And talking about programs on the rise, Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy travels to R.E. Lee in South Carolina. Now, Thomas Jefferson, I've been watching this program since the beginning of the formation of that program. And when they won their first game, I think 2 years ago, I was just tickled to death for them because, those kids are working hard. And last year, they won 5-6 games.
6 games. Started out the year 6-0 and then lost their last 6.
But they're beating programs. So there are people out there that Thomas Jefferson can beat, so they're getting better and better every year. And the last game on our schedule, which this could be a great little game, West Rowan at Mooresville.
All I hear now is this is the time for Mooresville. Everybody says this is going to be the year. West Rowan behind Scott Young is very talented. Before Northern Guilford won their 3 state championships, it was West Rowan winning 3 state championships in a row. So this is the year we'll see. Great game on the map to look at. Great game probably to go see because you own artificial turf down there, so it should be a great game.
Artificial turf. So cool. So cool to see games on those. That's the one thing I enjoyed about going to the mountains. T.C. Roberson, A.C. Reynolds is getting the kids to play on turf because, man, it speeds the game up. Well, we've talked about the new conferences. Let's talk briefly, see if we have any signals from our producer. We have 1 minute, so let's talk briefly just before, and we'll come back and continue talking about this. The conferences, we now have new realignment. This is the first year of a 4-year realignment, and over in the Big South, you've got East Gaston comes back to the fold, so it's an all Gaston County conference. The big changes that I see is the South Mountain Athletic Conference with Crest and Kings Mountain coming back in to play Burns and Shelby in conference games.
Well, to me, speaking of the Big South, the one we mentioned, the group that is entitled to say, I love this conference, East Gaston. They finally got out of Mecklenburg County, got back into Gaston County where they should be, and I'm glad for that, for them to be back in the Big South. In the South Mountain, this game's up for grabs. I mean, Crest, Burns, Shelby, Kings Mountain, East Rutherford, East Burke could step in there. Drone, I don't know how good they are, could step in there. We've got groups here that any one of 4 or 5 teams could win that conference.
Well, you've got a 2A and 3A seeding, but when it's all said and done, I don't think somebody wants to claim that I'm number 5 in the conference, but I got the top 2A seed. They want the conference title.
The conference
championship. And you're going to have the last 3 weeks of the season, Crest, Burns, and Shelby will butt heads. Kings Mountain mixed in there for that conference title, and you'd never know. Chase might be on the rise. They could get in the mix. We'll see as they start playing against each other. I see you wince when I said that.
The only thing I got to say about that, Chase has somewhere along this line defeat Shelby.
Yeah, they do. They do have to defeat Shelby. We're going to take another quick break on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. We will be right back.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price with names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
Hey, you. This is your carpet speaking. Hello. Hey, I take a real beating from you and your family every day. The kids track mud all over me. The dog leaves a deposit here and there. The cat leaves fur balls. You spill hot coffee on me. And what about those potato chips and dip from the big game? Get me out of here. Bring somebody new in here.
For new carpet and flooring for your home, see Keys Carpet and Floor Coverage, 1162 East Marion Street in Shelby. It'll make life easier on your old carpet.
Norris Merchandise's beautiful furniture with bedroom, living room, and dining room furniture by the famous brands. Norris Merchandise's hardware, everything from nuts and bolts to lawnmower blades. Norris Merchandise's Carhartt clothing, featuring Carhartt workwear, casual wear, and rugged outdoor wear. And Norris Merchandise is an archery shop with a complete line of archery equipment and accessories. That's Norris Merchandise, 2011 South Lafayette Street, Shelby, online at norrismerchandise.com or on Facebook.
Where are you eating breakfast today? Have you tried the Hub Cafe located inside Medical Arts Pharmacy? The Hub opens at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday and 8 a.m. on Saturday, serving an old-fashioned country breakfast at affordable prices. You'll find homemade biscuits, bacon, country sausage, country ham, liver mush, eggs, omelets, all cooked to order on the grill. Call 487-0511 or come on into the Hub Cafe for a delicious country breakfast located inside Medical Arts Pharmacy, 108 Grover Street, Shelby.
The Round Man, Okie Knipe, invites you into Okie's Tire and Service Center for all your tire and auto service needs. Okie gives you the best value in tires, both new and used tires, and they'll mount and balance your tires free. Come into Okie's Service Center for all your service needs, including radiator flush, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, and state inspections. Serving Cleveland County since 1978. That's right, over 35 years. Okie's Tire and Service Center, 800 West Warren Street in Shelby.
Back at the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show, Sam Davis along with Terry Reinhardt. Let's go over the lineup again tonight on the KTCBroadcasting.com lineup. You can watch live and in color on the internet. North Gaston at Bessemer City. You can watch live South Point at Chris. So, folks, if you can't make it out to the stadium, if you've got a smartphone, you're at one of the other games, go get that Ustream app, and you can keep up with the action live. Used to be we were looking for texts, Twitter feeds, and just hoping to get a score here or there. Geez, back in the good old days, Terry, we just waited on the announcer to give it to us because that's the only way we knew how to get a score.
It is. Now you just pick up your phone and flip it over there and pull it up, and it's right there in front of you. You can be watching a game and watching something else at the same time.
So KTCBroadcasting.com. Also tonight you can watch Ashbrook at Burns High School. You can catch Shelby Travels to Polk County on KTC.com, and also the Polk County game with Shelby. You can listen live on WOHS AM 1390 or catch the audio and video on KTCBroadcasting.com. And also the East Lincoln Mustangs will be traveling to East Gaston, and that is also on KTC Broadcasting, and also on radio only tonight. We've got WCSL 1590 AM. They will be carrying Cherville traveling to Bessemer City, and WLON 1050 AM will be carrying audio only of the West Lincoln at North Lincoln game.
And also, if you're on your way to a ball game and you're listening to us and you've got questions for us, call us. Call us at 704-435-2844. Call us at 704-735-8071 or 704-482-1390. We'd love to hear from you. Love to hear your aspects on what you think your team's going to do this year.
Absolutely.
It would be fantastic. And speaking of some of these games that we really didn't touch base on, I'm going to touch one on North Lincoln going to Lincoln. Lincoln leads this all-time series 8-1. The only loss for Lincoln was back in 2006. North Lincoln beat them 14-0. But Manus brings a team up there this year. I've heard a lot of great things about how much he's changed. His first year was last year. He played Lincoln and awful tough down there halfway through the season, and almost could have won the game, but it come down to the fourth quarter, and Lincoln had finally pulled away at the end. But they're on a team that's moving up in the league. And another game that we're watching is Cherville at Bunker Hill. This is the 18th straight year these two teams have started a season against each other. Bunker Hill has won 13 out of 17 of these games.
But Cherville's favored to win their conference this year.
They are.
The 1A conference they're in. Now, you mentioned Lincoln, and on my top 10, I asked Terry, say, put together a top 10 of the area teams, and he's got his top 10, and I put mine together, and these were done independently of each other. I had Lincoln at number 9, and the note I made was when you add Coach Cloninger plus their tradition together, generally you're going to have a top 10 area team there with Lincoln. They just, it's been years and years of tradition and positive football over there with some state titles mixed in, and you're always going to have a contender there.
1993 and 2007, they were state champions. But when I look at this team, they say they're weak on the corners. But I want to tell you something. These defensive ends they got, Roseboro and Roberts on the other side, hey, they're going to help. And when Lincoln is defense almost defeated East Lincoln last year in a tough battle down at East Lincoln, look for a lot of things. Haywood Easter running offense. This should be a great thing for them.
And if you want to know what the score was for Lincolnton in any school in 1982, just call us. Terry knows it. He's got them all memorized. He's a walking encyclopedia of local high school facts and stuff. That's just amazing just to sit here and listen to you, Terry.
Well, I'm not going to say all of that, but, I mean, you know, I've been doing Lincoln County for a long time. Been around them for, well, ever since 1995. Me and Calvin, we started this, and Calvin's the one that funded all the money. I've just been hanging around, you know, but it's been a great thing for me. This is my 19th year of doing this. I love high school football. People ask me, high school football is my top of my list. It comes in front of the NFL, I guess because I got part of it, you know.
Well, I've been involved with Crest over the years, helping out with some of the media stuff, the tapes and the highlight tapes, the tapes that go to the colleges, and help now with just keeping stats. So I've been connected to the high school football broadcast games back in the 70s with the old WHS AM and FM, way back when in the late 70s, and have stayed in touch over the years, done some games with Calvin and them, broadcast some games over the years, and like you, a true fan of the pureness of high school football, and that just the excitement of these kids that go out there and work their absolute tails off through the summer and the fall just for the glory of getting on the field and trying to win for their school. It's just, there's something about that just lights my fire. I love to see that. Amateur athletics is a real big thing to me. I love college baseball. I love high school football and high school baseball. So because these kids do it for the love, the true love of the game, and the desire to compete and to excel.
Well, every time I sit back and I think about it, and I think of your offensive line, because I always have, when we have call-ins as coaches, the first thing I say, identify your offensive line. Because, you know, even if you talk to Coach Parker up at Maiden and stuff like that, that's who wins the game.
Oh, yeah.
Them lines. It's the front men, them guys up front on offense and defense. If you're not winning that battle, you're not going to win the game.
Well, I saw this just to relay an experience. Years ago, Crest wins a state title back 96, I believe it was. Well, the next year or the year after, they had the running back, and everybody thought this kid's going to have a massive year, and he got crushed all year long because the offensive line they were big, but they were slow and didn't block many people, and this guy just got beat up. And it didn't matter how good that running back was. He ended up playing in college, but it didn't matter. Those guys up front have got to do their job, and if they don't, the guys in the back have to pay for it.
It is, and if you want to say somebody's not watching them, hey, there's a mom up there in the stand that knows that's my guard, that's my boy.
And trust me, if you mispronounce his name on the radio, somebody will get a phone call somewhere.
Oh, they will. Exactly.
Hey, let's talk about the top 10 this week. As we both had South Point number 1, I have East Lincoln number 2, being the defending 2A state champs, undefeated last year. I mean, my poll is not based on who would beat who on a given day, because I feel like some of the lower seeded teams would beat some of the other ones. But you go undefeated, you're the man till somebody beats the man.
They are. And, Sam, if you want to run over your top 10.
Okay, absolutely. Number 3 on my list is I have right now Burns High School. They're explosive offense. They're returning Tylon Ruff and the quarterback Chris Montgomery, so that's 2 very key returnees, and they have a run defense unlike any other. Cedarius Byers, this kid's like a mountain. He's like 6'3", 310 pounds. He's just huge. He's a run stopper, and they've always, in the last few years, Coach Beam has put together a scheme up there. He likes to score points, and he will score some points. Number 4 on my list is Crest. Always good, but this year they've got to prove it to move up my list. They've struggled a little offensively last year in the quarterback slot. The kid, PJ growing, learning the position. He's back this year for his third year playing quarterback. So they're real excited over at Crest. They've got a stable of running backs that are as good as anybody in the state. They've got a new, young offensive line, and as you mentioned a minute ago, so as that offensive line matures, so will the Crest Chargers.
Oh, yeah, and one thing about Crest, I have heard that the running back was hurt. Do you know anything about that?
One of their running backs.
Yes.
Now, this is the neat thing. This is a kid that 2 years ago, as a sophomore, devastated Northern Guilford, and Crest loses that state championship game 21-20 because Dominique Roseborough was just, he was doing what he could. Well, Dominique this year tears his ACL. But they were actually looking at him as the fourth back. Jalen Moore is the returning senior running back. They've got a sophomore running back, Trey Harbison, the nephew of some of the Harbison kids that ran back in the 80s and 90s for Crest. And they've got running backs out the wazoo right now. But Dominic Roseborough was the running back that they used in their power package. Give him the ball, block for him, and he just pounds ahead for yardage, and he was very good at it. But Dominic tore his ACL. He's out, but they're still in really good shape, although it hurts to lose a kid like Dominic, who is technically the best football player on your team.
Yes.
He's your strong safety, free safety type position, and he plays some running back and blocking back. So it's going to really hurt them, but they will continue. The running game's going to be fine. It's being able to develop the rest of the offense, and they're breaking in a bunch of new DBs this year. So if anybody throws on them early, those kids are learning. So number 5 on my list, I've got Ashbrook, and I've got them there because this is the team that on any given night can beat any team in the state, but the next week they can lose to Thomas Jefferson or somebody. They really struggle to get some consistency over there. Number 6 on my list, Shelby High School. The spread offense is coming of age. R.J. George at quarterback is growing into that role. He played it last year as a sophomore on the JV. Took a lot of lumps last year, but he learned a lot. They looked really good in the Jamboree. Forest View, number 7, and I've got them there because of their quarterback, Logan. I'm excited to get a look at him sometime this year if we get a chance. But the question with Forest View is the defense going to be able to stop anybody? Newton Conover, number 8, they're coming off a 9-4 season. Brent Russell did a good job with that program last year, so Newton Conover makes my top 10 because of the 9-4 record last year. Number 9 on my list, Lincolnton. And they're there. I know very little about them, but I do know that year in and year out, they compete.
Yes.
And with Coach Cloninger and the tradition that they have there, you're going to look for them to be competitive every year. And my number 10, and I put these guys here for one reason. Their coach threw the gauntlet down a few weeks ago in the paper and says, we will begin to compete for a state title. We want the Cleveland County teams to know that we're coming to play. So Chase High School is my number 10. Because they believe they're ready to move to the next level.
Well, I'm interested with that.
Yeah, what is your top 10?
All righty. My number 1 is South Point.
Yeah.
To me, the Redbone Tornado is hard to stop. I don't care who they playing on what night. South Point's always running into a tough thing when they got into the playoffs. When your quarterback went down a few years ago,
right,
then they were done. And I know Coach Lineberger, to me, is the top offensive coach, a line coach in the state of North Carolina, and that's my opinion. And I know I'm stepping on some few people, but he knows how to run that offense, and they're hard to stop. My number 2, Crest Chargers. That's the reason I got number 1 against number 2. Coach Barnes, always been a winner. He's went to Crest. I think he's got to come away with a state title somewhere along the line because the people at Crest know that's what they're about, state championships. My number 3, Newton Conover.
Wow.
I've got them up there. I think they can win the Southern Piedmont, and the 2A. I just got them at number 3. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. Number 4, Shelby Golden Lions. This is a program I think Coach Ware has brought back. He's going to move them back to the front. I don't think this year will be one of them years that they have a slow start. I think Shelby's going to be there from day one. Number 5, the Burns Bulldogs. Mm-hmm. Coach Beam, I love the way he has come to Burns and kept them at the top.
Hey, this guy has come into this program, and it's been down for years.
It is.
And first year, he lost his first 5 games, I think, or 6 games. And then he won his next 5. And they finished, I believe, I'm not sure if they won the conference or finished second that year. Well, the next 3 years, he's won the conference.
Yes, he has.
But he brings an excitement to a program that had been down for so many years, and it was all about attitude. And that's what Matt Beam brings to this. Is he brings attitude and some swagger, and those kids believe now. And as we're seeing, they're winning.
Yeah, and one thing about them, and if I'm not mistaken, I think they went like 23-1 in their conference in that 4 years.
Right.
The only loss to them was the first time they played to Shelby.
Right.
You know, and then they defeated them the next 3 times. So Coach Beam doing a fantastic job at Burns High School. Number 6, Lincoln. I don't see any top 10 without them in it.
Right.
You know, I mean, defensive-wise, they've got the guys on that defense that can stop anybody. Can the offense come around? You know, to me, when I always look at football, defense is the easiest thing to get out there and teach. Offense is going to come around. It's going to get better each week that you go out with different plays. Number 7, East Lincoln, Chaz Surratt. That's all I got to say. This guy is a number 1 player. He's going to be a top-notch player in this conference, if not player of the year. But he's going to be one guy that's going to be very hard to beat.
So do you feel like East Lincoln will miss a beat with this new quarterback?
16-0, that's going to be hard to beat.
Right.
Maybe second or third. I've got Newton Conover ahead of them and Lincoln ahead of them.
Okay.
Now, I'll probably hear everything from East Lincoln this coming week, like, come on, Terry, give us a break, you know. But
hey, if you're in Lincoln County and listening to us right now,
yeah.
give us a call. Call us at 704-435-2844 and tell me if you agree with Terry.
Exactly. My number 8 on my list, Kings Mountain. And
Wow.
Calvin Hastings. Every time I do one of these polls or mention Kings Mountain, Coach Lloyd, I have looked for so much out of Kings Mountain every year.
I agree.
You know, and to me, they've always faltered on me. They not have been as good as I thought they was going to be.
Right.
This is a year I think they got to make a step up. It's playoff time for them. Get there, do something when you get there, because you're making me look bad. Yeah. Number 9 on my list, Maiden High School Blue Devils. Coach Parker, them guys up there, they do a fantastic job with Maiden. Defensive-wise, another one that's going to be strong on the defensive. They got to work on their offense a little bit, but I got them at number 9. And number 10, my surprise, like you had, Chase, my surprise is Cherryville.
Wow.
I put them in my top 10. I watched them in a scrimmage over here just a couple of weeks ago, and they played Salisbury, a stout. They played East Henderson in a stout game. I think you're going to see a lot out of this team. Yeah, new conference. They should win it. You know, them or Bessemer City, or you might have one of these teams that we know nothing about. They come up from Pine Lake Christian up. That wins this conference that we have no clue of what they got, but I've got Cherryville at number 10.
Well, it's not every year that you look into a local high school expert like the NC Preps book that they've got out, and Cherryville is favored to win their conference. Now,
yes.
that's just not normal Cherryville football being the favorite in any kind of conference, but they are in the Southern Piedmont 1A. Cherryville's favored to win that conference. Thomas Jefferson, Bessemer City, Pine Lake Prep, Highland Tech, and the Community School of Davidson. So good for Cherryville. We look for continued success with those guys. They've had some good seasons the last few years.
Yep. The only thing I worry about them, Coach Fox, he's got Bessemer City down on his schedule twice, trying to get some money in, because some of these other schools they going to play, hey, bring some people. If you're going to support your high school football team, bring the people to these places. Hey, let's bring some money so that everybody in this conference can succeed.
Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. We will be right back.
Your sports leader is Big O Country, 1390 AM WHS in Shelby, 1590 AM WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia, 1050 AM WLON Lincoln, or online at realcountry1390.com. Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price, with names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
S&M Sports Shop is now your dealer for Under Armour sports apparel in Cleveland County. Come by and see the selection of Under Armour shirts, shorts, shoes, socks, and sunglasses. The team at S&M, Mike, Suzanne, Luke, Shannon, Dale, Ken, Darren, Dennis, and Charlie, is now your team outfitter for all local schools and whatever sport you play. They have leather jackets for all local high schools. Plus, S&M is your headquarters for Oakley Sunglasses. For all your athletic needs, go to S&M Sports Shop, located at 707 South Lafayette Street in Shelby. When accidents happen, it's reassuring to know that quick expert care is nearby. Carolina's Healthcare Urgent Care Shelby is now open and is staffed with experienced physicians, mid-level providers, nurses, and support personnel equipped with on-site laboratory and x-ray services. So keep our new location and contact information close by for immediate access to the region's preferred healthcare and largest physicians network. Carolina's Healthcare Urgent Care, 1010 East Dixon Boulevard, Shelby.
Shelby Savings Bank.
It's just better here.
With local decisions,
Better.
flexibility, and knowing how to treat people,
It's just better. Better.
It's just better here.
we're here to help our neighbors do better.
It's just better here.
With our best deal mortgage guarantee,
It's just better. Better. Better.
Better here.
great products,
It's just better here.
and 2 convenient locations.
It's just.
It's just better here.
Now more than ever, Shelby Savings Bank. It's just better here. Member FDIC.
We all hear about how good the barbecue is in Lexington, Greensboro, and in eastern North Carolina. But here in Cleveland County, we all know that the best barbecue is here. At Alston Bridges Barbecue, Kent and Linda Bridges and their family make sure the staple of their restaurant is the best barbecue. Your choice, pork, beef, or chicken, plus delicious sides, such as slaw, beans, fries, and hush puppies. The best since Alston and Mabel opened in 1955. Alston Bridges Barbecue, 620 Grover Street, right here in Shelby.
Insurance pregame show. Sam Davis along with Terry Reinhardt here bringing you all the information you need before you head out to the ball fields tonight. And Terry, I believe we have a caller.
We sure do. Again, this is Witherspoon Insurance Program, and our first caller of the night. What can we help you with, sir?
And they are trying to work out the logistics and the technical part. Are you online, sir?
Hello?
Hello?
There you are.
Yeah,
Yes, what can we help you with?
What's on your mind?
I just want to talk to Terry.
Go right ahead.
This is like Lewis Carpenter.
Yes, it is.
Yes, sir. How are you, sir?
Fine, and who am I talking to?
This is Terry Reinhardt.
Terry?
Yes, sir.
You don't sound like Terry.
Maybe my voice is totally different on this phone. What can I help you with, Lewis?
Oh, I just wanted to see what you boys up to. I've been listening to you on the radio.
Are we speaking clearly enough for you, Lewis?
Yes, you are. I can hear you all the way over at Bessemer City.
Bessemer City.
All righty, that's great.
All right, Lewis, what game are you going to tonight?
I'm going to Bessemer City, North Gaston.
All right. Get to see that triple
In
option.
fact, I'm already here and watching the warm-up.
Outstanding. North Gaston, they gave Crest all they wanted last year with that triple option. Scott Lee, I believe, is
Oh,
the
I
coach.
know. Yeah, North Gaston's not a bad football team. They've improved a lot.
Well, from 3 years ago, they were probably one of the worst in the state to now they're competitive. So this guy that's come from South Point is doing a great job with them.
Yeah, I'm afraid they're going to be too much for Bessemer.
Well, I know, Lewis, as we've sat back and we've talked about North Gaston.
I'll call you during the game tonight and give Terry some scores.
All righty, sir. I do appreciate it.
All righty, and I'll see you on the post game show.
All right. Thanks for checking in, and be sure to catch Lewis and Dennis Davis on the post-game show.
Post-game show. Sure will. After the games are done, they'll be coming in here and taking over the mics and speaking about the games that have finished and have callers to call in then.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of calls. A lot of people have an opinion about a game after the game.
Oh, they have a lot of opinion.
There's a lot of trepidation and not really sure how things are going to go tonight. So I don't think there's going to be as many people, Terry, that are willing to put their foot in their mouth and take a risk that on the pregame part. But tonight, after the fact, they can get on here and crow about how well their team did. They'll be calling in wanting to talk about it.
Oh, they will. And like I said, from this week on, we'll be here on the pregame show. And, again, them numbers are 704-435-2844, 704-735-8071. 704-482-1390. You can call in if you have anything to say. If not, after this week's games, if you can call in tonight on the post-game show and talk, or next Friday, we'll be back again on the pregame show, and maybe then you'll have seen your team play and be able to have something to say about them or how your team's being run.
Or if you have a question about some of the things we talk about, if you agree, disagree, give us a call next week. We'd sure love to talk to you, to hear from you, to see what your point of view is.
Some other things we need to talk about, Sam. I'm going to go over streaks that a lot of people are looking to stop this year. The winning streak, Northern Guilford leads the way.
Right.
They've won 29 straight games. East Lincoln's number 2 in the state with 16 straight that they have won. In the losing bracket, we got Smithfield, Selma. They have lost 30 in a row, followed by Northmore at 27. And then we got a few teams in our local area. West Caldwell's lost 23 in a row, and Highland Tech has lost 22 in a row. So those are streaks that those want to stop soon, But on the other end, we've got a game which me and you have mentioned before. Chase will be coming to Shelby later on. Shelby is 46-0-1. The only one tie back in 1968. That's a streak they want to stop. And another one that I look at in streaks is Maiden and Lincoln. They play each other the last game of this year, and that streak used to be 16-16. Now it's 23-16. Lincoln has won the last 7. So that's another streak that Maiden would like to stop.
Going back to that Chase Shelby streak, that's called the streak.
Yes.
These guys have had some really good games over the years. Chase has come so close. Just a few years ago, Chase had Shelby beat. Shelby scores in the last minute to win the game on a running play. If you make the stop, you get the win. If you don't, you lose. And it's just they've had some great games in that series. And Shelby's won some big ones. But just every year, you got to believe. You got to believe that you can break that streak, and I'm sure Coach Bailey over at Chase believes they're going to break it this year. So it'll be exciting to see how that goes. Northern Guilford, those guys, hey, I've seen them play twice. And you look at them on the field in warm-ups, you think, well, we got these guys. But, man, I'm telling you, those guys can play. They're fundamentally strong, fundamentally sound. They're where they're supposed to be. They're quick. They're not dominant size-wise, although T.J. Logan was probably one of the fastest kids in the state. But the thing is, that team was so well coached, so well put together, and they've won 29 in a row, you said.
They have.
And they've beat some good teams to get to that 29 in a row.
They have, and they've 3-time state champions. Last year when they was playing Charlotte Catholic, we sat back and on a play that should have never been run. We saw T.J. Logan come back in the game. This is a guy on his way to UNC. He's over there. But we saw him run a big play for 70, 80 yards for another touchdown, put him over 500 yards for the game, in a play that really shouldn't have never been run.
I agree.
I'm 100% behind that. But, at that time, Coach was getting ready to leave, so what it meant to him was nothing. It's another state championship, and that's all he cared. And he walked away.
Well, there's a thing called sportsmanship.
They are.
I've coached youth sports for years and years, and when you've got a team down, you don't pile it on.
You do not.
You just,
you
know what?
not.
You get what you came for, the win, and you work and you develop other children and other kids. And in that case, that coach should have had another kid out there developing, but he wanted to get more points, more glory for the kid, and you hope the best for T.J. Logan as time goes on because that kid's a special talent. But the coach, a little lack of class there on his part. We've seen it from other coaches. We had a conversation earlier about some coaches in the area over the years that have run the score up on folks. They just don't really care But it's the kids that it hurts. It's not the other coach. It's the kids. But, yeah, that was a classless act on the part of Northern Guilford, and I'm sure that the people of Northern Guilford didn't appreciate it either.
No, they didn't. And I know when you speak of stuff like that, I go back, and I know one coach who used to comment, old Billy Tubbs, when he coached Oklahoma in basketball, he told people, he said, well, just don't play me.
Yeah.
You know, and another coach used that a few years back, and I was like, you know, okay, I understand. This is not about you. This is about the kids that you stuck out there.
Absolutely. And there's different philosophies when it comes to that, but my philosophy has always been get as much as you can early, but once you feel comfortable that you've got the game in control, let up. Let up. And that's when you develop other kids, and you develop and work on other parts of your game. That's why we see teams take knees with a minute to go. We see teams go from spreading it out to just running off tackle. Now, when a team's up 40 points late in the game and they're handing it off to their third-string running back off tackle and he breaks it for 80, that is not running up the score.
No, that's not running up the score.
That's just tough luck on the defense's part.
But on the other end of it, I look at it, and it's like you do. T.J. Logan would have started to make that run and blew an ACL. Hey, he might not be at UNC this year.
I just checked the weather a few moments ago. It looks like there might be a pop-up shower here or there in the area, but nothing worthy of leaving or running to the car. Doubtful you'll need an umbrella, just a little poncho or parka. And just try to remember this, folks. When you go to the football game, if you take an umbrella, there's generally somebody behind you that all the water's running off on their legs and you're blocking their view. So if you have a chance, take a poncho with you because it makes it better for everybody. Colleges don't even allow umbrellas in stadiums anymore, and if I had my vote, I would push for no umbrellas allowed in high school stadiums. It'd all be ponchos and parkas.
I agree.
All right, that's my little soapbox. Let's go over quickly again the KTC broadcasting schedule, and tonight we're going to have on ktcbroadcasting.com. Looks like North Gaston at Bessemer City. Lewis Carpenter is going to be there, so if you happen to get up there, track him down. Hunt him down. You can listen on audio only. The Cherryville Ironmen are over at the Bunker Hill Bears. On radio also, North Lincoln travels to Lincolnton on ktcbroadcasting.com. South Point, the number one game in the state, travels to Crest High School. Burns High School hosts the Ashbrook Green Wave. Shelby travels to Polk County, and also the audio for that game will be available on WOHS 1390 AM. And the defending state champion East Lincoln Mustangs will be at the East Gaston Warriors. That's on KTC Broadcasting, as we've mentioned about 11 times. But be sure to catch these games. If you can't make it there, you can get it online. If you have a relative somewhere, and I know there's grandmas and grandpas that would like to keep up with Johnny. But we're going to have another break coming up here in just a moment, so let's just go ahead and snap it off right here and take the break. This is the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show with Terry Reinhardt and Sam Davis. We will be right back.
Your sports leader is Big O Country, 1390 AM WHS in Shelby, 1590 AM WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia, 1050 AM WLON Lincoln, or online at realcountry1390.com. Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price, with names like the Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
It's the grand opening of the all-new Gastonia Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. We have doubled our inventory, and during our summer clearance event, the savings have never been better. Plus, every new vehicle comes with tires for life, car washes for life, and loaners for life. Gastonia Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is now open 7 days a week for your convenience, and 24 hours a day online at GastoniaDodge.com. Experience the Gastonia guarantee today at Gastonia Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Since 1900, The Stamey Funeral Home in Fallston has been serving the families of our area with the finest in funeral service. In 1998, the Tysinger family began to serve the families of the Cherryville community, and today are a proud member of that community, providing services with dignity and respect. Caring for your family like our own, that's their slogan. Come talk with manager Pete Kraft about the services they provide at the Stamey Cherryville Funeral Home, 405 North Dixie Street in Cherryville. Today's high school football broadcast is being brought to you in part by your local Jack in the Box. Visit your nearest Jack in the Box anytime, 24 hours a day. The dining room is open till midnight, Sunday through Thursday, and 24 hours on Friday and Saturday. And of course, the drive-thru is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it's Jack in the Box, 3618 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia, 455 Earl Road in Shelby, and 102 College View Road in Dallas.
Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Nissan. Those are the powerhouse of vehicles you'll find at Marburger in Shelby. Plus quality pre-owned cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. And of course, a service department that is second to no one. So when you're in need of a new vehicle, see Marburger at 1310 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
Where are you headed after the big game? To Newt's on the Court Square in Uptown Shelby. Newt's will be open till midnight after the high school football games this season. Come out and celebrate on Friday nights at Newt's. They feature a $5 burger every day. And on Wednesday, our burgers, sandwiches, and wraps are just $5. Newt's features all Angus beef or build your own salad. For after the game or just about any time, it's Newt's on the Court Square in Uptown Shelby, open 7 days a week until midnight on football Friday nights. Like us on Facebook for our daily specials.
And welcome back to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Sam Davis along with Terry Reinhart. We want to thank you for joining us for our inaugural Witherspoon Insurance pregame show this year. Our first episode, issue, whatever you want to call it. Had a great time. Time has flown, Terry. We're 10, 12 minutes away from being done.
Yes, it is. And, we just, to me, just now, slapped on our stuff and got in here. And we're only 13 minutes away from going to the live broadcast from the stadiums around. And you've got them list of who is going to be playing tonight.
Yeah, and just want to mention, we did mention to let the Crest folks know that the Crest broadcast starts at 6:30. Yes. They start their pregame at 6:30. Those guys sell a lot of commercials. They got to play a lot of commercials. So they start at 6:30. The other broadcast will start at 7 o'clock. We'll break away here in about another 10, 12 minutes and go to those games. But quickly, let's go over the list again of the KTCBroadcasting.com lineup tonight. As we mentioned, a lot of choices. We're going to start on the backside. And East Lincoln will be traveling to East Gaston tonight. Shelby travels to Polk County, and that game is also, while on KTCBroadcasting.com, is also on WOHS. Ashbrook Greenwave will travel over to Burns High School, and you can get all the action there from Dan Greer and the Donald Trump of this area, Calvin Hastings.
That's right.
Crest Chargers take on the South Point Red Raiders. Rob Root, Tim Foster, and Andy Foster will bring you that action. On radio only, North Lincoln will be at Lincoln, and that's on WLON 1050 AM.
David Keever and Rick Mitchell.
Okay, and the WCSL game of the week, as it will always be Cherryville. Cherryville travels to Bunker Hill tonight. Who are the announcers for that game?
Milton Baker and Dan Aker. I think are the guys doing that game.
Now, Milton's getting much like Dan Greer. He's been around a long time.
He has been around forever. Milton does a great job, though, when he's on the air.
But now when he's off the air...
we'll talk about that some other way. Yeah, that's right. No, Milton's a great guy.
And our other game tonight, Bessemer City, as Lewis Carpenter mentioned, is North Gaston will be at Bessemer City. And looks like we've got another phone call. So we're going to take this quick phone call before we wrap things up. Caller, are you on the line?
Hey, good evening, Sam. Terry, how y'all doing?
We are doing fine, sir. What can we help you with?
I just wanted to let you know, Terry, I'm making my first ever West Lincoln game tonight after all these years of going to Charlotte Carringer games. I'm finally going to get off my fanny and go spend some money up here in Cat Square and attend my first local football game since moving up this way.
Well,
and I thought it was just kind of ironic that you were on the air doing a live show when I was headed to West Lincoln High School, and I just thought for good luck I would call you two and say I appreciate you guys having these pregame and postgame shows on the air.
Well, I want to tell you what, it's not us. It's Kevin and Calvin. They're the ones who's done all the work to put us on here, and we appreciate what they've done. And for you, while you're up there in that West Lincoln part of town, don't forget to get you one of them City Lunch hot dogs because, you know, West Lincoln sells them things too.
Hey, caller, what is your name? Did we lose him? I guess we lost the caller. Well, we appreciate the phone call.
Oh, yes, we do.
And just remember, folks, you can give us a call. Time's a wasting today, but don't forget next week, give us a call, 435-2844. Terry, what are the other phone numbers?
704-735-8071, 704-482-1390.
And the game schedule for the night, South Point at Crest, some of these will not be broadcast by KTC Broadcasting. Ashbrook at Burns, Hunter Huss at Kings Mountain, Shelby over at Polk. We mentioned the North Lincoln at Lincoln game. Now, that's a game you said that has some interest in your heart.
It does. Manis has started his first year down there, and he's going into his second year. North Lincoln, like I said before, has vastly improved. Impressed me last year when I saw him play Lincoln, and could have won the game, but Lincoln had pulled away in the fourth quarter to finish it off. He comes in there tonight. I hear great things. Their squad is moving to the top. This is a big step. You know, if they would pull off a win here, oh, man, what would they do for Lincoln County? For North Lincoln, it would be one great thing.
Now, North Lincoln, correct me if I'm mistaken, Matt Beam, was he at North Lincoln or
yes,
East Lincoln?
He was at
So he brought that program up a little bit, then jumped over to Burns and has been done an amazing job at Burns High School.
He sure has.
All right. So that's when he came on my radar when he was at North Lincoln. I started saying, hey, who are these guys? They're winning over there.
Yes.
And then he jumps over to Burns and has done a phenomenal job. And we're going to wrap this up real quick. We're going to take a quick break. And this is the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. We'll be right back.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price with names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986. Time for a new air conditioner. Want more home comfort from your air conditioner? Train and Forest City Heating and Air can help. Together, Train and Forest City Heating and Air provide the most reliable air conditioning systems in the world, bringing you quality, comfort, and guaranteed satisfaction. Train and Forest City Heating and Air are offering special year-round Train Comfort Specialist financing deals to make your purchase so easy and your family so comfortable. Call Forest City Heating and Air, your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer, serving Cleveland and Rutherford counties for over 30 years for all of your home comfort needs. Call 828-245-1379. And remember, it's hard to stop a train. See your participating independent Train dealer or visit train.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Forest City Heating and Air, your local Train Comfort Specialist dealer. Again, call 828-245-1379. Hospice of Cleveland County announces the opening of their hospice resale store. The store is now open and features approximately 5,000 square feet of retail space. The store is managed by Angela Ballard Jones and is located at 323 East Marion Street, right beside of Dollar General. Donations are currently being accepted. For more information, call Hospice of Cleveland County, 704-487-4677. The new hospice retail store, now open at 323 East Marion Street in Shelby, right beside Dollar General.
A child's life is so precious. Yet all around us, children's lives are being destroyed by drugs. Take an active role in your child's life. Teach them that a healthy, drug-free lifestyle is their best choice. A word from Hooker Bonding of Shelby, our area's quality professionals, a name you can trust and depend on. Hooker Bonding is working today for a brighter tomorrow for our children.
Welcome back to the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Got a couple of late details we just got some information on. The East Lincoln at East Gaston game will have audio only into the second quarter. Then the video will kick in. I think somebody forgot a cord. And the Shelby and Polk County game will be audio only. They have discovered some technical difficulties that they said they will not be able to get resolved until next week. So those two little housekeeping issues. East Lincoln will be audio only until the second quarter, and then the video will start, and the Shelby at Polk County audio only tonight. And Terry?
Well, what I'm going to tell you.
Football kicked off last night.
It sure did. Charlotte Christian defeated Sun Valley last night 28-19. Charlotte Christian jumped out 28-0 lead, and Sun Valley scored 19 before the game was over, 28-19. Charlotte Christian, the number one state champion from last year, and Independent. Independence got theirs kicked off last night, having no trouble with South Mac, 49-0. Independence rolls, trying to get themselves back up there to start competing with Butler, Mallard Creek, and the crew. We're going to send it over to Kevin Hastings now, as he can take over and tell you how to feed in to all this stuff that we are doing.
For all you non-technical folks, thanks for joining us on the Witherspoon Insurance pregame show. Sam Davis, along with Terry Reinhardt, will be back next week. So be sure to join us as we send the feed back to Kevin Hastings, and he's going to give you the lowdown on Ustream app and how to log on and watch and hear the games on ktcbroadcasting.com. Kevin, it's all yours.
Good evening. Kevin Hastings here in the studio along with Steve Roberts, going to tell you guys and folks how to get to the ball games tonight. If you're looking to watch some football, couldn't make it out to the games tonight, just click on at ktcbroadcasting.com and you can find all your sources for football tonight. One reminder, you can watch Crest Chargers, Shelby Golden Lions, Burns Bulldogs, Gaston County Game of the Week, and the East Lincoln Mustangs live. ktcbroadcasting.com. Just go to What's Up TV page, click on the live online TV page, and you can watch all the games at once. Do want to make some reminders tonight. Shelby will be radio only from Polk County. East Lincoln audio only from the first quarter. And other than that, we'll be ready to rock tonight. You can follow us on Twitter at What's Up Shopper at KTC Broadcasting. You can hashtag What's Up Sports and What's Up TV, and we'll get you scores and highlights tonight if you folks want to log in. And you can tag us on Twitter and on Facebook, and we'll put your comments and suggestions in the shows, and you guys call in later tonight also. So if you want to watch online, go to ktcbroadcasting.com. Also, if you have smartphones and tablets there, Steve, smartphones and tablets, you can download the free Ustream app. That's the letter U, Stream. Download the Ustream app, and you can watch on your phones and listen to all of our broadcasts on your phones. Just search the game that you're looking for tonight, or you can search KTC Broadcasting. But that's going to wrap it up. If you guys got any questions, feel free to ask us on Twitter at What's Up Shopper, and we'll do our best to let you guys know. And we're getting ready to go to the stadium pregame shows here on Big Old Country and KTCBroadcasting.com.
Your sports leader is Big O Country, 1390 AM WOHS in Shelby, 1590 AM WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia, 1050 AM WLON Lincoln, or online at realcountry1390.com.
This is WOHS Shelby. We'd like to take you live and remote to our Game of the Week with Shelby High School. Here's Coach Jeff Jones and Britt Pasco for our call of the game.
Thank you, Steve Roberts. This is Brent Pasco here with Jeff Jones at Polk County High School, and it's week 1 of high school football. We've been waiting for this since last winter, and, Coach, here we are tonight. It's not quite what we normally see for a first game. It's lower temperatures, wet conditions, and it has a feel more of a fall game than late summer.
Well, this entire summer has been pretty much an anomaly as far as much cooler temperatures and much more precipitation. I got to say that I was actually quite surprised. I didn't realize that there was a chance of precipitation coming up tonight. We had a nice sunny day all day, and by the time that you and I met to make our way down here, we had quite a thunderstorm. But the field looks like it's in pretty good shape anyway. The Golden Lions, perhaps because of that wet field, have come out in their black pants tonight. I think their original plan was to go in the white pants, but so it's a little bit different look for the Golden Lions tonight.
They are. They're in the white tops, black numerals on the shoulders and front and back, and the black pants with the new Shelby written down the side of each leg in gold. So Shelby coming out with a little different look tonight. Polk in their gray pants, royal blue tops with white numerals and white helmets. And they are the Wolverines. And you're listening to the Stadium pregame show sponsored by Cleveland Regional Medical Center. And it's about 28 minutes and 50 seconds to kick off here in week 1. And, Coach, you got 2 teams that went all these years. I think Polk County's been in high school for about 21 or 22 years, I was just told. And they met one time. And lo and behold, it was 2 weeks into the playoff last year. So the teams go all those years without playing and play 2 out of 3 games against each other.
And, of course, we on the Shelby side are hoping that we'll get a repeat of last year's game because the Golden Lions came out and played one of their better games of the year last year, I think rolling up a 42-7 victory over Polk County at Prairie Allen Field at Memorial Stadium. This is also a little bit different for the Golden Lions because for quite some time, Shelby has opened up their season against a team that was much larger. We've been playing 4A, 3A teams for quite some time, but we're opening up actually with another 2A team, and that's going to be the first time in quite some time that has happened.
Well, there's no doubt this year Shelby going to a new conference as the whole state restructured and redivided the teams up, and Shelby gets put, for the first time, Coach, we got to talk about this, in a long time, in the same conference with county rivals Kings Mountain Burns and Crest High School. Therefore, shook up the conference. We lost Freedom, we lost Patton, but we picked up 2 other teams from Burke County and East Burke and Drawn. And then we dropped some of our familiar non-conference teams. Ashbrook is gone. Kannapolis, A.L. Brown from the last 2 years gone. Lincolnton gone. And we pick up Polk County. We pick up Asheville A.C. Reynolds, which will be next week at home in the home opener, and South Point. So you think, we're getting rid of Lincolnton and A.L. Brown, and you pick up teams like A.C. Reynolds, Polk County, and South Point.
Well, that's correct. And, a lot of people are going to really be looking forward to that South Point game in 2 weeks because this will be the first time that Shelby and South Point has played. You and I were talking on the way up. We think 1996 was the last time that Shelby and South Point played. And, for years and years up through the 70s, at least up through the late 70s, that was the last game of the season, Shelby and South Point. But speaking of that last game of the season, something that has never happened before, the last regular season game of the season this year will be, it's a kind of a county rivalry that you might have heard of before, Shelby and Crest.
Yeah, so, I think they did that on purpose. They scheduled it and said, hey, why don't we put these 2 big rivals head-to-head last game of the season. They've been typically playing for several years the 3rd week. And as we both know, Shelby and Crest, for the last several years, have kind of come out of the gate slowly and didn't hit their stride till mid-season. So this year, hopefully the fans will get treated to a dandy in the last week with 2 teams playing their best football. But that's a long way from now, coaches. This is week 1 up here at Polk County High School. And, again, you're listening to the Cleveland Regional Medical Center Stadium pregame show. Our pre-radio broadcast show was Witherspoon Insurance Agency pregame show, and we thank them for that sponsorship as well. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and we'll be back with more of this pregame broadcast. You're listening to Big O Country on WOHS 1390 AM.
Since 1986, Witherspoon Insurance Agency in Shelby has been serving families across Shelby and Cleveland County. And today, Wayne Witherspoon continues the tradition of bringing you the best insurance at the best possible price with names like The Hartford, Safeco, Progressive, National General Insurance, and Travelers. Drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby and talk with one of their friendly hometown agents. Witherspoon Insurance Agency, your independent insurance agency since 1986.
Welcome to McDonald's.
Posto avere in cafe.
I'm sorry?
Puis-je avoir une café?
Oh, ma'am, our coffee is fancy, but it's not schmancy.
Oh, okay, then I'll have a small premium roast coffee.
Sure. And you don't even have to pay in euros.
That was good.
More sophisticated taste to love. McDonald's Premium Roast Coffee is made with a gourmet blend of Arabica beans. And now get any size for just $1. Prices and participation may vary. A la carte only.
Remember, it wasn't raining when Noah started building the ark. For all of your waterproofing needs, stay high and dry with a call to H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing. H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing does all types of waterproofing, from basements to crawl spaces, from commercial to residential. Call 704-482-2847, 704-482-2847 for H&H Pest Control and Waterproofing, East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby.
Here, lizard, lizard, lizard.
Oh no, it's total mayhem.
Hurry, call your good neighbor.
You can't. They're not even there.